The 2025 tax season has officially begun with the IRS now accepting returns. That means Americans are ready to seize the opportunity to maximize their refunds and minimize any possible tax bills, regardless of the decisions they made in 2024. Now, depending on your situation, what could be the newest tax adjustments and changes mean to you? What does it mean? Now, CPA, see, here we go. CPA TurboTax expert Lisa Greene-Lewis joins us to help us understand and share simple tips to save money and maximize your tax refund. Lisa, I like that. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Great. Let's get started with what everyone's interested in, those refunds. Are there moves we can still make to maximize what we could get back?
Well, first, I would gather all your documents in one place so you don't leave anything out. So, gather your documents like your W 2s and 1099s that report income. But even more important, gather your receipts for expenses that could be um, worth deductions. And then, second, you can make a 2024 IRA contribution, and you can do that until the tax deadline up to $7,000. It's 8,000 if you're 50 and over, and you may be able to deduct the contribution on your 2024 taxes.
Speaking of deadline, what is the filing deadline?
The filing deadline for the majority of tax filers is April 15th.
Wow. Now, there have been some recent changes and adjustments that we should be aware of before we file. Tell us about some of those.
So for tax year 2024, they're not substantial changes, but there's some I want to highlight that will help tax filers' outcomes. So the first one is inflation adjustments, and one of those is the standard deduction. So that's been increased with inflation, and if you're single, it's $14,600, and married filing jointly is $29,200. And then the second one is the earned income tax credit. That is a substantial credit. A family with 3 kids, that credit is up to $7,830. And then
Wow.
yes, there's also a reporting change if you're self-employed or have a side gig, um, and you have payments processed by a third-party provider like Venmo or PayPal. They are required to report sales that they process of $5,000 or more. So just making people aware that they will see this form and they may have not seen it before because the thresholds were much higher before.
Wow. As one of the largest financial technology platforms worldwide, how are you helping people file their taxes this season?
TurboTax is providing done for you tax filing experiences, and we also have some free options to file. The first one, so if you did not file with TurboTax last year and you file your taxes yourself on our TurboTax mobile app, you can file your federal and state taxes for absolutely free, regardless of your complexity, and that is until February 18th. Second, we continue to offer TurboTax Free Edition, and that is if you have a simple 1040 form. You can also have earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loans, but no other schedules. And about 37% of tax filers qualify. And then if you don't want to deal with your taxes, you can hand them over to our tax experts.
I think I'd rather do that. Yeah, hand it over. Definitely.
Yes.
Now, what are the most common mistakes we make when filing our tax returns, and what should we do if we need an extension?
Yes. So one of the most common mistakes is just procrastinating. People who procrastinate, they tend to leave some important information off of their return. Second, if you have kids, you want to gather the accurate Social Security number for your kids because kids are worth valuable deductions and credits, but you have to have the accurate Social Security number in order to claim those deductions and credits. And third, filing at all. Some people might not make the income filing threshold uh, in order to file, but I would encourage people to file because if you've had federal taxes taken out of your paycheck and also eligible for some of the credits, you could be leaving money on the table by not filing. And then lastly, you asked about filing an extension. So you need to file an extension with Form 4868 by the tax deadline, but just remember that is an extension to file and not to pay.
Now, where can our viewers go to find more information about the topics we discussed today?
You can go to turbotax.com.
I've been speaking with Lisa Greene-Lewis. She's a CPA and tax expert for TurboTax. Thank God we have her around because, man, it's going to be wild. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend.
Thank you for having me.